Let's talk about the little nuances that will help you just kind of survive the workplace. Because do you ever feel like there is so much that is left unsaid in the workplace and you don't know if there is some information that was given that you're missing? Is it something that other people were taught at school that you were not taught? And you are just having to learn this. And, I learned some of these things the hard way so that you don't have to. Okay. All right. So the first thing is there is a million different ways of communication. I emphasize this. Okay. And have a willingness to learn in every single workplace that you worked. Let me give you guys an example. I learn best with examples. I don't know if you guys are the same, but I learn best with examples. So I tend to give as many as I can. My first job was, my first serious job was at an institution of higher education. It was a university over here in Missouri. And the style of communication there, of course, was very formal, but there was a level of, let me put relaxation to it. No, it was more, not relaxed, but there was a playful, what am I saying? There was a playfulness to it. Okay, because most of the emails, most of our clients were students. A large section of the population in that institution was students, college students. So the communication was tailored in a way that it was serious enough to cater to the staff and also not too serious for the students. Am I making sense? Okay, so what I learned so quick is to be able to adjust if I'm communicating to a student, to adjust so quick to their level and just be able to relate to what they're saying and quickly be able to also adjust back to if I'm talking to a member of staff. Now, that was not difficult when it comes to talking to students because we were give or take the same age, or they were maybe a few years older than me or younger than me. So that was easy. When it came to communicating to executives, that was a whole nother ball game. That was something I had to learn. That was a skill that I had to learn. And the lady that I worked under, she was a PhD. Why am I saying that? The professor that I worked under, this was something she nurtured in me from day one, like how you communicate, how you come across. And she was so nice because, man, I was not refined in any way. My point is, you can start from anywhere. It's all right if your communication is not so refined that you haven't mastered the skill of switching from one way of communicating to another. It's all right as long as you stay open to learning different ways, how different people like to be talked to. I've had a couple of people that I've had to work or be an apprentice under, and all these people had different ways of communication. Okay, I've had the privilege of working. Actually, now that I think of it, most of my bosses have been women. Let me tell you guys, when I was in undergrad, there was nothing I was as terrified of as having to work under other women. Not because anything specific happened to me, but because of the experience that I'd had of other people. So stay open to understanding how your peers like to be communicated to. There are people who, before the coffee hits the system in the morning, they're a whole nother person, okay? Understand their little ticks, okay? Understand that there are people who, if you want the best results, go straight to the point, okay? And there are people who, how are you? How's your morning? How's your cat? How's your dog doing? And all that good stuff. Nothing about that is wrong. It may not be ideal for you depending on the culture you come from. Okay, I come from a culture that I believe is very direct, at least how I was raised. But I've had to adapt and understand what is important to people. Okay, people like to help people they like on some level. All right, so if you want people to help you, you have to be able to connect with them, not on all levels, but at least on one thing. And I know that stresses out people who are anxious, but it could be even a football team that you guys support, the same team. It could be something so trivial. It could be just that you guys tend to use the same phrases. Realize that sometimes we do things differently from maybe regular corporate jobs. Okay, you learn very quickly to be vague or to thrive in vagueness, to be able to work well even when instructions are not very clear, to know that I can do this within the limits of policy, and this is a no. This is a yes. This is a maybe, depending on who I'm working with. You learn to know what is urgent and what is not urgent. Now, I will tell you that in any workforce that you join, you do need to understand what is a priority for your boss versus what is a priority for you, and find a sweet spot for both. Okay? I feel like that has helped me thrive. Understanding what is a priority for those that I work with or those that I report to, and what I think should be a priority, because everybody has a list of things you think should be a priority, but find a sweet spot for those, or where those two intersect, and that right there is your thriving point. Okay? Another thing that I would have you keep in mind when you're joining the workforce and you're just new and everything is just whatever, it's just a lot, is be adaptable. Be willing to learn, know your learning style. That will save you a lot of time, okay? Be adaptable. Expect that you're going to have to learn new why does my mind want to say new technology, but new ways of doing things. There is the accounting that I learned in school, and then there's the accounting that we use on my place of work. Let me give you an example. My current job is, my title is an accountant. And the nature of this job, we do a lot of accounting work, but it's very client facing. That a large part of it at the beginning involves being on the phone. Now, that was something I'd done before, but not extensively. It was something that it was a skill that I had to develop at the very beginning. So be comfortable with learning new ways of doing things. Be comfortable with that. Be comfortable with not knowing before you know. For a long time, I was not good at this job, okay? Until I was good at it or became really good at it. Just keep furthering your skills, keep asking the right questions, be strategic about what you spend your time on, and that's going to help you. Finally, another thing that I'll have you guys keep in mind as far as as far as your new job is, what did I say, new job? My assumption is it's a new job and you're trying to see how you can be an asset to your team or to those that you work with. Is please don't be a complainer. Okay. I know we think that if something is broken, we need to complain, but that rarely helps anyone. Okay. Especially in a place of work. So try be as innovative as you can be within the limits of policy. Try to solve things rather than to just complain. If you're going to complain, with the same intensity, have a solution to it. And more importantly, know how to communicate this solution. Know how to offer your suggestions. Understand if the suggestion is actually welcome. Understand who you're communicating it to. How would they want this suggestion brought to them? Because sometimes I feel like we have solutions, especially as young people. When you're joining a workforce, you're very innovative, you're fresh, like you have fresh ideas, and that's amazing. That's probably why they hired you. But a large part of your job is being able to communicate that properly and effectively, okay, in a way that benefits everyone. So if you're communicating in a way, or a new idea in a way that makes other people feel like they, number one, are not doing their jobs properly, or, makes them feel a certain way, there is just have some nuance to everything that you do, okay? Have an understanding of the lay of the land. I will always emphasize that. Take some time to pause and say, okay, I have an understanding. This is how this and this and this works. But if I want success, you want to feel that everybody is winning, or whoever you're presenting this to. It shouldn't be just about me as Melodious. But I mean, of course, it's going to be about me, or about you. But how does it benefit other people? How is this going to be a win for them? Communicate it in such a way that it's a win for them and also a win for you. Am I forgetting? I might be forgetting other things, and most of these things we'll talk about them on a rolling basis. Oh, yeah, I just remembered something else. Develop a great work ethic. I would hope that your years through school, your parents instilled that in you. I don't know. I will say that my parents instilled a good work ethic in me. So that's something I already had an advantage in. And I would say most people have that. But there are people who struggle with having a good work ethic. They just probably doze off when Your supervisor is explaining something to you. There are people who it's just so hard to work with. Okay, probably because they're never on time for meetings. They're never on time for anything. There are people who just are the way they are. My desire is that you're not that person. Okay, so develop your work ethic from day one. Strive to be better. Okay, strive to be better than what you used to. Why did this disconnect? Oh my God. Let's go see. Am I offline? We'll need to crop that sniffle anchor. 725 112 725 112. All right, I'd like to end this video here. Oh, this one is kind of important. I will have you do this. Um, I will have you do this when you join a new job. Try not to go in with the intention of making friends. I know when you're off of college, a lot of what I did in college involved creating friendships because of just the atmosphere of it and how laid back it can be. And even some of the jobs that I had there, a lot of it hinged on my social network as far as friendships. But when you go into your place of work, I would desire for you to, that should probably be at the bottom of your list. Plan to get along with everyone, but not necessarily in becoming best friends. If that materializes and just naturally evolves to that, very well. But stay cautious, okay? Understand that you're there primarily for your skills. They're paying you for your skills, all right? Number one, they're paying you for whatever they're paying you for. That's what you're there for primarily. Every other thing is a perk. And I would trust that you have good judgment to know, okay, should I proceed with this as a friendship? And sometimes it's just okay to wait until you leave that place to pursue that friendship, okay? Sometimes. You guys are smart. You know what I'm saying. So I'd like to end this video right here. Peace.